A chilling wave of fear swept across the corridors of power as uncertainty crept deeper into the Kremlin, forcing even the closest allies to question their place in the shadows of a leader who increasingly trusts no one. The story ignites with a quiet whisper: what happens when a ruler begins seeing enemies in every direction, even among those who once pledged unwavering loyalty? Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos as we unravel one of the darkest political spirals of modern geopolitics, a descent that has reshaped alliances, crushed inner circles, and left a trail of paranoia so intense that it dismantles the very foundations of support once built to secure power. In this episode, we delve deep into how growing mistrust creates a world where loyalty is no armor and where suspicion becomes the ruling doctrine. From an exterior perspective, the Kremlin stands as an immovable symbol of authority, layered with red walls, golden eagles, and centuries of political drama. But its imposing facade hides a storm brewing inside. Hallways once filled with calculated confidence now echo with hushed voices, urgent footfalls, and the silent tension of people afraid to speak too loudly. Security around the perimeter has transformed into something almost theatrical in its intensity, marked by extra layers of surveillance, armored convoys circling like mechanical sentries, and loyalist guards whose eyes dart at every movement. Moscow's streets reflect both admiration and anxiety, illuminated by glossy architecture on the surface, while shadows move nervously underneath. The world sees grandeur, but those who understand power recognize a fortress designed not just to repel external threats, but to watch its own people. The interior environment grows even more claustrophobic. Behind the doors, long tables stretch like runways to distance leaders from advisors. The once predictable dynamics of strategy meetings are replaced with stiff silence, clipped replies, and an atmosphere so tense that even small gestures can be misinterpreted. Conversations are short, measured, and meticulously scripted to avoid any hint of dissent. Advisors now carry the weight of uncertainty on their faces, knowing that a single miscalculated sentence could shift their position from ally to target. The walls feel closer, the air feels heavier, and individuals who once exchanged ideas freely now guard their thoughts as though their lives depend on it. Every expression is watched, every word is analyzed. Every action might be the wrong one. When it comes to performance, the machinery of power tries desperately to operate as though everything is normal, maintaining the illusion of strength and unity. Speeches broadcast unwavering confidence, commands are issued with total authority, and large-scale public displays showcase tanks rolling, jets streaking through the sky, and officials applauding from carefully curated angles. But internally, the performance falters. Decisions slow, strategies fracture, and the delicate balance of leadership begins to wobble. A government that once moved with synchronized precision now operates in fits of uncertainty, with ministers replaced rapidly, operatives shuffled without explanation, and long-time loyalists removed under vague allegations. The state's performance becomes less about efficiency and more about survival, held together by fear rather than conviction. Safety features in this political machine evolve into something far more severe than protective measures. These mechanisms were originally designed to shield leadership from threats, both foreign and domestic, but under the pressure of escalating paranoia, they morph into tools of self-cannibalization. Surveillance networks expand beyond necessity, monitoring not just enemies but allies, staff, and even high-ranking officials who once had unwavering trust. Internal departments tasked with security begin targeting their own colleagues, conducting interrogations, confiscating devices, and enforcing loyalty tests that grow more rigid with each passing month. The fallout becomes tragic as those once closest are removed under suspicion, relocated, demoted, or quietly erased from public view through abrupt resignations or unexplained disappearances. Fear becomes the backbone of the system. Protection turns inward, consuming those it was meant to shield. The unique selling points of this unfolding political drama lie in the sheer scale and complexity of internal fractures. No modern leader has portrayed such a dramatic shift from calculated dominance to isolating paranoia with such visibility. The unpredictability of internal purges, the sudden reshuffling of powerful figures, and the collapse of stable alliances produce a story unlike any other. Those who once championed absolute authority now question whether the structure they built is eating itself alive. Analysts from around the world discuss how extreme distrust can destroy even the strongest political fortress, showing the audience how a system can implode not because of outside forces, but from the seeds of fear planted at its core. Watching this unravel is like observing a massive engine tearing apart its own gears, sparks flying as the internal pressure increases. The price of this volatile transformation is immense. The cost is not measured in currency alone, but in political capital, credibility, alliances, and human loyalty. Officials who once supported the leader with confidence now live under constant stress, weighing every action with the fear of retribution. International ties become strained as partners hesitate to negotiate with a government that seems unstable even from within. Economies waver as investors sense risk, markets react to uncertainty, and the population begins to feel the slow burn of instability in daily life. Reputation suffers as global media captures the chaos and uncertainty, portraying a leader who no longer inspires loyalty, but enforces control through suspicion. The human cost is even more severe: careers ended, families uprooted, friendships destroyed, and the psychological weight carried by those who wonder whether they will be the next target of suspicion. This is the true price of absolute distrust, the collapse of unity, security, and stability. The conclusion to this harrowing story is that no empire, no matter how fortified, can survive when fear becomes its foundation. A system dependent on loyalty cannot function when loyalty is constantly questioned. The downfall of trust inside any government leads to fractures that spread like cracks through steel, weakening the structure until it groans under its own pressure. When leaders see enemies everywhere, even among supporters, they create a battlefield within their own walls. The exterior may continue to shine, the speeches may continue to broadcast strength, the military may continue to show firepower, but the heart of the system beats unevenly, strained by the weight of suspicion. The ultimate message is clear: when power is maintained through paranoia, collapse becomes inevitable. And so, as the smoke of political uncertainty continues to rise, we witness a cautionary tale, one that reveals the destructive force of mistrust and the tragic fate of a leader who, unable to distinguish friend from foe, ends up dismantling the very support that once secured his rule. This is a story of ambition turning into fear, strength turning into vulnerability, and leadership transforming into a lonely fortress guarded by shadows. The world watches closely, knowing that history often remembers not how a ruler rose, but how he fell.